All right, guys, we are in quarantine day 1, and I'm clearly already losing my shit. So, what we are going to do today, I asked everybody, wow, my boobs look huge. I asked everybody on Instagram what they wanted to see, and you guys all wanted to see the Amrezy palette, and you also wanted to see everything on Instagram TV, IGTV. So I am going to try and keep this as short and sweet as possible. I'm using natural light, so I don't even have a ring light on or anything. I spray tan a little bit, so I hope that like evens me out. And like as far as like my foundation and stuff. And honestly, like I'm 2 shades lighter, I would say, on camera than I am in person. So there's that. I'm gonna put on some of the NARS Radiance Primer because I'm going for a nice smoked out look today. I'm actually gonna do my eyeshadow first and then my foundation. So I'm just gonna work this all over. I'm gonna do my brows and conceal. Okay, so my brows are on and I concealed. So now we're gonna go into the palette. First, I'm gonna take this Morphe setting powder in brightening pink. We're just gonna pop that all over the lid just to keep like some movement and stuff going on. So that's what we're going to do. Before I go into the Amrezy palette, I just wanna take a lighter shade from the KKW palette, this shade right here, and use it just as my transition shade because this is what I usually use as my transition shade. Okay, so that's my transition shade, and I like to use that shade because it's a very neutral tone. It's like a neutrally goldish yellow. All right, so now we're gonna go into the Amrezy palette. And I'm going to work mostly with the shades, for this part, New Yorker, and OG. Because they're both also great transition shades for a look like this. And don't worry about getting fallout everywhere because we're gonna wipe this shit clean before we continue on to our foundation. So that's why I did it like this, because I think this is probably a lot easier for people. And most of Anastasia's shadows are known to be have like a decent amount of fallout. So I wanted to kind of beat that before we even had to deal with that problem. So I'm going to New Yorker first, which is like a camelish orangey tone. Definitely has orange undertones. I'm just putting this in my crease. I get a good angle for you guys because, you know, I don't usually film like this. I'm currently in my living room / dining room, or the dining room, I guess. And we never really use the dining room, so since I'm home for 2 weeks, I figured let's start using it, bitch. This is just a fluffy blending brush. It's clean. I'm just gonna lightly blend this out. And I kind of want to do like a full cat eye effect here. That's why, again, I have foundation on. So I'm going to take this and pull it out a little bit. A lot more than I normally would. And kind of get that shape going. And the dark's gonna fall right along with that underneath, so. Don't worry about in here, this is all gonna get cleaned up later. So I'm not really worried about the inner, I'm just trying to pull it down. Now I'm gonna go into 1988 actually, which is a dark brown. And I'm picking this up with a dense, small brush. And we're not cutting the crease, but we are gonna pop this right in the crease. And then flick it out. A flick of the wrist. I'm like looking down. If you have trouble finding your actual crease in your lid, you can look up and like put the brush there and you'll see your crease. The worst part about this video for me is everyone wants this on IGTV. And I know myself, and I know I'm just gonna talk for 3 hours. because what else do I have to do? Not that that would matter because I do that on a normal day. Okay, so now we're just going to lightly blend this up. I'm using the first brush that I used just so we have the extra pigment on there to get a nice gradient. Well, this is a nice fake out cut crease, guys. You just pop concealer under it and there you go, girls. There you go. All right, now for the fun stuff. Now we're gonna go with a little black. And what I'm gonna do is match it up right here and give it like, still give that winged out look. It's gonna look extra AF, but it's okay because so is my shirt. So we're going into BK, which stands for Brooklyn, I think. Might be the Bronx, I have no freaking idea. I'm from New Jersey, what the fuck do I know? All right, so we are just tapping that here. And I wanna kind of keep this black lower for the moment because I just like that look, I think. You hear snoring in the background, it's Coco. Guys, maybe I'm doing a fucking cut crease right now. I don't know. The world really is ending. Okay, we're gonna pick up another blending brush again and blend this all in. I'm starting from the outside because this is where I really want the most diffusion. Remember guys, we can wipe away what we don't want underneath the eye. So if you feel like you're getting a little messy, it's okay. Because I'm getting a little messy, but it's all right. Like, I don't even really like the way that point is, but it's okay. We're gonna wipe some of it off, so. No worries, chicas. So you guys can just see like right there, the diffusion of this versus that. Way different. This is not blended. I look like a cartoon character. I'm really blending aggressively. You don't have to be as aggressive as me. I just tend to be aggressive in general. Now, I'm such like a spaz that it's actually hard for me to like look at this makeup look while I'm doing it because it looks so jacked up. Because we're gonna need these, but I guess I have to learn patience on a few levels while being home. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go into a black eyeliner. This one is Lasting Drama Matte from Maybelline New York. This is the, why did I say Maybelline New York? We all know that's what it is. It's in the shade 860 Jet Black. So I'm gonna go in here. And I'm just putting a little extra here so I can make it really nice and deep there. You see the difference that that just made? So it's a fake out that the eyeshadow is actually that dark, which it's not, because shadow, as we know, gets pretty translucent and transparent once you start blending it. Depending on what like brand you're using, but blacks tend to, kind of like black colors or like blues tend to really diffuse a lot when you know, start the blending game. Now, I would do this even if I wasn't doing this look, if I was gonna wear lashes, but I wouldn't go all the way because I usually just tight line right here for my lashes because it looks like way more natural. I'm gonna take this pencil brush and just buff this out. I just buffed my contact. My neighbors are driving by and they're probably like, what the fuck is going on up there? Because all you can see is like from my deck is probably this big black, I have like a huge, you know, backdrop up and it's taking up like most of the living room. So you can't see past it. So people are probably like, what is she doing up there? I mean, there's still people driving it now. A lot of people in my complex work in the city, or at least are commuters on some level, so. We're practicing social distancing over here, okay? Okay. Just blending, guys, with this pencil brush. Okay, I like that. Now we're gonna go in with a liquid liner. I'm going to use the Tattoo by Kat Von D. And we're going to do a little bit of a wingy ding. Little wingy ding. So I'm just gonna start here, look down. Okay, now we need to clean that up because they're not even, because I never wear wings. Let's let it dry actually for a second. And before we clean up, I'm just gonna buff in a little bit more black so we can really mat out the sides. Now another option that you could do is you could use like a gel liner, but I'm just gonna use shadow. And the reason I'm doing this before I clean out my eyeliner is because I want to make sure that everything's connected the way I want it before I go wiping away, you know, my eyeliner. Okay, and I'll back in with another blending brush. And just lightly, like the lightest touch possible, just to buff this. Just the lightest bit. I'm gonna bring this in just the lightest bit. This is probably not the best brush to do that with, but you could see like the difference of just bringing a little bit of that depth in what it did. And don't worry, my wings aren't staying like this. Okay. That's where that's at for now. Just gonna blend this out a little bit more. Guys, I have to admit, my favorite part of my makeup routine is my foundation and my lips. Favorite part. I don't know why, I'm just a big fan of it. And there's something in my contact. I don't know, I just feel like once like your lips are on, all is right in the world, you know? That's just how I feel. I'm gonna do my go-to lip today too with this look, because this is not really, I don't know, this is not like a look where you really want to wear like a crazy lip. Obviously you can do whatever you want, no one's here to judge you, but typically this is not a look that you would do like a crazy lip with because it's dark. So, you know, it's a heavier eye makeup look. All right, let's take this and wipe. Oh yes, honey, with the slice. Go out and buff this out more after underneath because I like the idea of that softer look. But, and these are a little popped up more because I wanted that more like Sophia Loren cat eye, you know? So that's that. Okay. That's a tattoo liner. And we're really gonna like cat eye it out once I have lashes on my foundation. So let's get on to our foundation real quick. So I'm going to use Tan Honey from Tarte. Let's see if this is dark enough for me. All right, so I'm gonna try some of these customizable enhancement drops from CoverFX. They're in the shade Candlelight because I have a little bit of a tan, hoping it's still developing, but you know, I wanted to film and I had to get moving. So I already have a damp Real Technique sponge. I'm going to put some of this on here. Again, this is in the shade Tan Honey 40M, and it's the Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation. And if worst comes to worst, guys, and I'm too warm with these drops, nothing's dropping out, then we lighten it up. Now, most people would drop this all over their face like the, you know, Farsali oils, but this is a lot deeper, I think, than a lot of people are understanding. Or if you've ever seen candlelight, like it's definitely, it's a lot more bronze. So I wanna make sure that it's mixed in okay before I go ham on my face. So I'm gonna mix it actually right on top of the sponge. Might actually be like a little light for me, but it will oxidize. And I'm gonna bronze a lot, so. Lately I've been putting foundation on with a brush. And this is one of the first times I think I could probably count on my hand how many times I've put my shadow on before my foundation. So I never do it this way. So this is a new experience for me. All right, honey. So I love this foundation so much. It spreads so nicely. It's a really nice base. Now we are gonna do some work under the eye, so I'm actually gonna go right up to here. But I'm not gonna go right under my eye because I'm gonna be putting some more shadow and things under there. And I'm gonna tightline my nose a bit. Lately I've been cutting my nose here and then I go around with like a contour, like a cream. All right, now I'm using Tantour and Light. This is from Huda. I'm just gonna go around my lips. Now, I have a long, skinny nose, and my mother gets so mad at me for contouring it and making it stand out more. I gotta start working this out, it's gonna dry. But I mean, I don't know, I like my nose. I don't know what she's complaining about, she's the one that grew it. All right, let's take the Tantour again and we're just gonna buff this around the face now. I'm gonna use this more, this is a smaller one than the one I use for actual like contouring with powder. We're just gonna buff this. That's like super soft, but gets the point across. You guys can see like that glow from within look. That's from that, well, it's from the NARS, the Radiant Primer. Honestly, I feel like throughout the day just looks more and more beautiful. And also it's from the Candlelight Glow from Cover FX. That's gonna really help that out too. So you get that like glow from within look because I mixed in the foundation. So, you know, this might be like a little bit more of a harsh look as far as the coloring goes, but you can really soften it by just putting a little bit of like a bronzing or an illuminator drop into your foundation. Also with like a tan, which I know I keep saying like tan. To some of you, I might not look tan at all, but I'm like super pale normally. So this is giving me a little bit of a glow too. So, you know. All right, we're gonna dump some of this pink, some of this pink Morphe Bacon Set Brightening some of this Brightening Pink Morphe powder, and I'm going to use, this has like been my freaking go-to, and I was just gonna clean it, but I wanna keep it dry. So this is the Real Techniques dry sponge, dry powder sponge, and let me tell you, this thing picks up product like you wouldn't believe. So we're just gonna clean out that contour line and let that bake like I have a beard. But I'm not gonna keep this all here the whole time. We're just going to buff a little bit under the eye. All right, let's wipe away a little bit because we don't need this to bake too long. Okay, now we're just gonna go in. I just wanna moisten up my face a little bit. Blend that all in. I really got that powder set in there. And I'm gonna go back over and recontour a little bit with powder as well. So that's coming. But first I'm gonna go in back into the Amrezy palette, and now I'm gonna pick up my pencil brush. And I'm just gonna pick up BK a very little bit. Let me hold the mirror up so you guys can see what I'm doing. And normally I would leave the powder under there, but I was getting a little too dry. And we're going to take, before we go in with liquid, I'm gonna take the pencil and I'm just gonna underline my inner corner. Just so I have that full on cat eye. I'm just gonna go up here. And I just want to take the Kat Von D. It's in Trooper Black, the tattoo. Like, super carefully. But if we're gonna be a little bit edgier, and clean up the line on top. So you can see the difference between that and that. Way more outlined, way more uniform, and way more like impactful. So now let me do the other side and not pick that up. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit because I just want to clean it up and even out a little bit more, but it's got to dry down first or we're gonna be in for it. All right, so I'm just going to now contour while that dries down, and I want to finish up a few things with some blues from the Amrezy palette because, I mean, this palette's just dope on a rope. You could leave it like this. You could not even go in that far. I'm still gonna put lashes on. But there's definitely options. Definitely options. All right, so I'm gonna go in and bronze. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Powder Bronzer and Saddle. It's like my favorite. Okay. Now for lips, let's spritz first. I really love setting spray. I think I like the refreshing mist of it, but I also, I don't know, I just love, you know, securing that beat. While I'm a little, let's get a little water here. I'm going to put a little, while I'm damp, is what I was gonna say, but that didn't sound good. But I said it anyway. I'm gonna pick up some of the Wet n Wild highlighter in the shade, I don't know, I'll let you know. It's their loose powder. And we're gonna go right over the cannablanche. On the chin, down the nose. I like to highlight before I do my lips so I can get, you know, the snot lines real good. Oh, I just looked back at the camera. I didn't even know the camera was picking this up that nice. Ooh, 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 ooh. Now, if this was the summer, I would probably go here. If I had like my shoulders out, I would put my shoulders. I'm telling you guys, this shit is so affordable for like the payoff of it. I mean, I barely even picked any up and it's just like unbelievable. Unfrickin' believable. Take a little hair out. I don't know, how do we feel about it? Normally I would put some hoops on with this look, so maybe put some hoops on. My tape-ins. My extensions are just going crazy right now. These little bitches are popping out. A little bit up here. A little bit here. We have ourselves a glowing bitch. All right. I'm gonna use the lashes in number 43 from Christina. So I'm just using the Ardell black glue, the original one, not Ardell, the Duo glue. So I'm just gonna take the lash and string it through. These are really a thin strip, so they look very natural on. And then I set that down, let that dry. This is from Ardell. I'm sure you can order like ones like this online. If they're your lashes, I mean, you shouldn't blow on them, but you can. But if they're someone else's lashes, you definitely shouldn't, because that's dirty. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this. I have a mirror in front of me, but like I said, my light's not on and I'd have to really lean in to see it. I don't even prefer to use a mirror like this. I usually just lean into mine, but yeah, these could definitely go like out more on my lid. Girls. Has anyone ever done this before? All right, I'm gonna put on some blush. This is Pro something blush from MAC. I'm not gonna lie, got this from a sample sale. I have like 37 blushes from MAC from a sample sale. This one's in I'm a Lover. Oh, it is pretty. Very pretty. It's got like, it's matte. It's matte, but I've been filming for 52 minutes. All right, I'm going in with Leo. That's gonna be our pop of color here, kids. So I am going to pick up a very tiny brush. This little guy will do. Let's make sure it's clean. These are my brushes. I'm gonna wet it with some Morphe setting spray and pick up Leo. And I'm gonna line my bottom line. Let's start here. Listen, girls, this is a good look for a date night in, okay? You might have to FaceTime your man, and it's okay. It makes me happy. I'm gonna just take that same brush and pop, now that I've put all the blue I want, just pop back into BK in the black and just make sure that this is really nice and blended and dark over here. And I just flipped the brush around, so I was using like the side. And I really, really, really like that. So here we are. All right, let's get some mascara on these bad boys. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I really could probably push these lashes out further, but for filming purposes and the fact that like I kind of like the way it looks on camera, at least what I'm seeing right here, I'm gonna just leave that. Okay, now time for lippies. All right, so I'm gonna do my signature combo for you guys. So I'm using 90 Style from KKW lipstick and number Nude 3 in KKW lipstick. I'm just going to take Tantour again real quick and just go around my lips since I buffed it out and like I got rid of a lot of it. Now, like I said, girls, if you got a 5 o'clock shadow going on there, don't be doing this at home because you're gonna be real mad because you're gonna look like you have a mustache. So, you need to take care of that, girl. Okay, now, going with this. This is, again, Nude 30. You can try and blend that in a little bit, but we're gonna go over it obviously with lipstick right now. So again, I'm gonna use 90s style and concentrate this right in the middle. Give it a nice smush because where you put all the product, it's really not gonna move for the most part, I feel like, with these lipsticks. I honestly was very skeptical about KKW stuff, but it's quickly become my go-to, and like my favorite palette, my favorite lip liner, my favorite lipstick. And for me to convert back over to lipsticks after the 3-4 years that I've been diligently wearing liquid lips, oh no, Kim done did some shit. I'm just pulling the dark in a little bit more. And that changes up the look too, but you don't have to do something like that. If you want to keep it a little bit lighter, you can keep it lighter. Like now that I just blended a little bit more, I can go back in with this and just pop it up again and give it that contrast again. I could also go back in with the darker liner and just, you know, build a little bit more depth and just, you know, perfect it. I'm a psycho with my lips, so like if I want to go somewhere, like if I'm going out, I take ample time on my lips. Like this is just my thing now. Which I'm sure will change at some point, but, and that's so this is the final look. I hope you guys like it. I didn't fill in anything in my eyelid. Between the, I'm trying to make sure I'm looking at you guys right, in between the liner and the dark, I kind of just left it. You could prime it with something a little bit lighter, like a lighter shadow if you wanted. So I hope you guys like this. This is Quarantine Christy, and you're gonna have a lot more coming at you.